Hey guys, it's your friend Kelly Dell here with Off the Beaded Path. And as you can see today, I have somebody with me over here. It is someone who I love her work. I have admired her work on Instagram for quite a while now. So I'm going to jump over and let her introduce herself and tell us a little bit about her.
Hi, everybody. My name's Andrea from Andria Bieber Designs. Nice to see you.
I love it. I love it. So Andrea, can you tell everybody you said you're from Andria Bieber Designs. Now, is that your social pages and all of that as well, or are they called different things?
Yes, you can find me on social media under Andria Bieber Designs. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Pinterest and TikTok.
Yes, Lord, we can't forget the TikTok. Oh my gosh. The big thing this year, everybody, like all of my companies are like, are you on TikTok? Are you on TikTok? I'm like, yes, we're on TikTok. Like that's the thing now. People love TikTok. But I'm a little obsessed with TikTok. Like once I get on there, I have to give myself major limits, right? Because if not, I will scroll for forever.
Yes, I get lost in the Reddit posts and have to go through all of them.
There with you. So, okay. So, Andrea, tell us how you got into beading. Like, how did you get started?
I got started into beading, trying to find a job I could do from home so I could stay home with my kids. I lived in Seattle at the time and daycare was very expensive. And I thought, how can I stay home and earn some money and also be available for my kids? Because they were pretty small at the time.
Oh my gosh. So, how many kids do you have?
I have two boys.
Bless your heart. Oh my gosh. How old are they?
Ethan is 19 and Evan is 16, almost 17. And he just got his driver's license last week.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I have a 9-year-old son. I don't know how you did it with two because the one 9-year old, oh my gosh, he thinks he's 19. But I completely understand the needing some extra money because daycare is, yes, even now it is super expensive. So totally get that. So, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question already, but I'm going to ask you, what is your favorite medium to work with? Meaning, like, do you like wire, seed beads, stringing? Because I know that you've kind of got a couple of things. So, what's your favorite?
That's really tough because I go back and forth. It's like one day I have to wire wrap and work with copper and make something. I love smaller gemstones. And then another day I'll be like, I have to make a necklace. So I pull out my stringing wire and I'm like, okay, I got that done. Okay, now I'm gonna hop back over here. So I switch back and forth every day. Last night I strung a necklace. Today I got out my wire.
Gosh. So now with your wire, I know I see you post a lot of copper, like especially antique copper. So is that kind of your favorite go-to color wire to work with?
Yeah, I love to work with it. It's pliable. You can do a lot of different projects with it. For me, it's less expensive than sterling silver wire, which is the major motivator. If I screw up on a project, it's cheaper with copper wire. And I also just really like the more rustic look. And it depends, some stones look better with silver than copper, but I just find I gravitate towards copper more. And you can hammer it near, sand it down or patina it. And if you screw up, that's okay.
Yeah, one of the girls who actually teaches wire wrapping, because you ask anybody who knows me, like I am not the wire girl. If you want something wire wrapped, like I send them to somebody else. So the girl who teaches wire here at the store, she loves to use copper as well. She's got a lot of the same aesthetic as you. She loves to do copper, natural gemstone type stuff, which is so popular right now. Everybody loves it. So that's the good thing. Um, so I guess another really good kind of weird question though is if you had to work with only one color of bead for the rest of your beading career, what one color would that be?
Probably turquoise. I would have said purple, but I've noticed lately I love turquoise. And so I've been hoarding a pile of turquoise that I have. if I don't incorporate it into something and I just go, I love turquoise. It's a great color because there's different tones of green or blues in it. And then you can have brown mixed in it. So it's nice to, it's like a variety. You can mix it with different metal types. It's very, what's the word I'm looking for? It goes with everything.
It's very neutral, very
Yeah.
neutral. That's what I love about it. So it's a really, really good one. That's a good one. That's a very good one. I'm really bad. I don't know about you, but I'm super bad about getting into a color scheme, and then I'll make a million things in that color scheme, and then I'm like, okay, like you have to go to something else because if you don't, it's well. If number one, people tell me on my YouTube's like, Kelly, you've got to go to a different color.
Yeah, it's easy to I do that sometimes too where I gravitate towards something and I want to keep going with it. You kind of get into a vibe. And then if I find it's easy to be creative once I'm kind of in that zone and I want to keep going and going and ooh, I can do this shape with this stone now. And oh, mix this color type with this stone now. And then I've exhausted all the stone. Okay, now I need to switch colors.
Exactly. Yeah. I know during COVID, I actually got into a habit of every single thing I made. If you go back to 2020 and you watch my videos during COVID, almost every single thing I made was lime green, turquoise, and purple. And like I said, finally people were like, Kelly, you've got to go to a different color. It's like, I know, but I just love it. Like it makes me happy. So I love color anyway. So, but the great thing, Andrea, is that you're going to teach us how to make a bracelet that I seen on your Instagram a couple of weeks ago, or maybe
Yeah.
last week. So can you tell everybody exactly what they're going to need for the project?
Yes. For starters, you'll want to have your artistic wire wood mandrel. I love this. I bought a metal one once when I was into metalworking, found this, and I am obsessed with this tool because you can do so much with it. It has different measurements for different size bracelets. You can mold wire to it. It's like it just works for everything. It's wonderful. Basic beading supplies like wire cutters, round nose pliers. I like to use chain nose pliers and a ruler. And then I'm using 16 gauge wire. I dead soft and round. And depending on what size stone you want to use for this bracelet, you can use larger stones or smaller ones. You want to use 24 gauge or 22 gauge dead soft copper wire. I'm using a smaller crystal today, so I'll be using 24 gauge copper wire to go within the 16 gauge wire for the wire weaving.
Okay. So 22 or 24 gauge is going to work the best, you said, right?
Yes, for the inside here, I'll hold up a sample. So we're going to be making this bracelet. And so for the wire work on the interior, the weaving part, you'll want to use 24 if you're using a smaller crystal. And then the 16 gauge will go for the frame of the bangle.
I love it. I love it. And one of the great things about this project as well, is it's really I don't want to say a one size fits all, but really when you have the mandrel, you can really do any size that you need. It's
Yeah.
not, like for me, I have wear like a 7 1/4. So something right here is going to be a kid's play on me. So that's what I love about this part of the bangle because you really can make it to your custom size.
Absolutely. I leave the back open. Now, I've done it before where you can have like a hook clasp and you can kind of clasp it. But I like this because it snaps on and snaps off and it's bendable. It's comfortable. It's so lightweight. You can't even tell that you're wearing it. And I love it for myself because I actually don't wear a lot of jewelry. And so I found I wore it all day and forgot it was on. And so it was really comfortable to wear it while you're making jewelry or if you're running out the door and it just slaps on, slaps off. So I think it's a great project.
Well, and two, for the people who like work on a computer all day and work in the office,
Yeah,
it's flat down there, so you don't really have to worry about that either. So that's really good. I
that's
love
what I that's when you have charms down the wrist, it's easy for them to get, if you're resting your arm down, for example, or if you're, really busy with your hands, it's great because you can open it up so it's not all the way down your wrist. So if you need to lay your hand down on something, it doesn't bother it.
Now, Andrea, just because I'm not a big wire worker, when you use your like your bare, because I know you use a lot of bare copper because you like to patina as well. Now, when you use your dead soft, does that work harden over time? Like if I keep taking it off and on and stretching it out a little bit, is that going to work harden a little bit, or is it just going to kind of stay that nice pliable shape that whole time?
I have no idea. I know sometimes with copper, if you bend it a lot, it'll harden over time.
Yeah,
I assume if you bend it too much, you could snap it
yeah.
or oh, most people with cuffs say you don't want to open and close it. You just kind of want to roll it onto your arm and maybe pinch close a little bit and then just kind of roll it out. But that's really a good question. Because I'm not like torching it to harden it. I'm not hammering. That's why I like to use 16 because it holds its shape a little bit better and you don't have to use a lot of tools with it. But that's a good question.
All right, good deal. Okay, well, I'm gonna give you just a second to get your camera switched over. So, I'm gonna talk to everybody here for just a minute. Hang on one second. What in the world? Give me 1 second here. I've got to spotlight myself. Oh Lord.
Earrings, by the way, those are really cute.
There we go. Okay, so yeah, you should be good to go now, Andrea, to kind of move your camera around. But so guys, if you have not checked out Andrea's social media, I highly suggest you go to her social media and check it out because like a lot of people this year for me got projects that I learned from her YouTube or her Instagram page because she does these great quick videos and the way that she teaches, I feel like is a lot like I teach. She tries to make it the easiest, absolute possibly easiest thing that she can to be able to show how to do that project. So a couple of pairs of earrings, a lot of people got those. I mean, there's just some great, really great projects that she has on her channel that you definitely need to check out. So I'm going to go ahead and give the floor now to Andrea because she is going to teach us how to make that awesome bangle. All right, Andrea, the floor is yours.
All right. Okay, so this today's project, here's a close-up. We're going to have two sections of copper wire on the outside, and you'll be wire wrapping in the middle, and then this will be what your end looks like. So for starters, if you want to have a 7-inch bracelet, I'm cutting about 7.5 inches of wire. Sometimes it's good to just have a little bit of extra if you need it, because it's better to have too much than not enough, and then you have to start all over again. So we're going to cut two pieces of 7.5 16 gauge wire, and you can get this at Fire Mountain Gems or beadalon.com. I'm using Beadalon wire, and it's called the Artistic Wire brand, and I love it. It is my favorite. I've used quite a few brands of wire, and it's my favorite one to work with. Okay, so we have two of these. You want to have 7.5 inches, and if you want to have it a little bit smoother, I'm looking for my pliers. You could smooth it down with nylon pliers. So you want to go ahead and choose, depending on what size bracelet you want, the mandrel width. So I think this is a 6-inch one. So I'm going to mold it around the mandrel here, and this will give a nice curve to my wire. And we're going to do this with both. I love that mandrel so much. And then we're going to take our round nose pliers and round the end. And you want to curve it inwards. And we're also going to we're going to round it on both ends. They're round nose pliers.
Okay.
And if you find it's too long, or if it's not the right size, you can go and trim your wire and adjust it to the size that you want, and then reshape it with your mandrel again. So this will get bent a lot. That's okay. I reshape it a few times as I go. Because we're bending it back and forth and doing stuff with it. All right, so I'm just wire looping both ends here.
I feel like I'm a pro at this part since you had to do this on those earrings. I made so many pairs of.
So awesome. I love those earrings. I saw yours and I thought, that's a great idea. I got to do it more colors. All right, so next I'm going to grab my chain nose pliers and we're going to bend these to the outside. And you want to have one of your tops here with the loops going the same direction. So we have these guys facing top. And I'm going to bend these guys. Oh, there we go. And I'm a little nervous because I've only done this on camera about 2 other times. Sorry. And then when you're doing this, you want your loops to face opposite of each other.
Oh, okay. All right. Because I was
So
thinking,
they're curve up like
okay. Because I'm doing it with you, so no pressure. No pressure.
I already screwed up on one. That's okay. That's gonna
Hey,
happen.
that's the good. I mean, that is one of the great things about, like when you do a video like this and it's not live, but it's, where you're doing it in real time because then people can see, oh, so that's a mistake I'm going to make.
Yeah, it's yes. And then I'm gonna reshape it again around my base. So pretty much anytime I do something, I reshape it to recurve it again since I've been bending the wire and stuff like that. All right, so the next part is a little bit more let me bend this guy back. A little bit more difficult to get started. Okay. So I cut about 3 feet of 24 gauge copper wire. And I'm going to get out my crystals here. I'm using rondelle shaped crystals, and these are 4mm, I think. And the rondelles to me just seem to be a really great shape that fit inside of the bangle. So while I'm holding the 2 16 gauge wire bangle forms in one hand, I'm going to do this over again. I'm going to grab one bangle and I'm going to start wire wrapping around the first one. And I want this one to be on the bottom. And I'm going to take my wire and just wire wrap around 3 times to get it started. And you may need to take your chain nose pliers, kind of wrap around the end of the wire, and then cut off your excess and pinch it close. And also slide it towards the end. So it's right in front of the loop. There we go, like this. And now I'm going to pick up a crystal. And while you're working, you'll find that your bangle and your wire flops all over the place until you get it secured.
Now you tell me. Now you tell me.
So now I'm going to take my top and we're going to take the crystal and sandwich it in the middle. And we're going to start wire wrapping over the top.
Okay.
And I'm going to take my wire and I'm using the 24 gauge and I'm going to loop it over the top bangle. I'm going 4 times. I found 4 times seems to be a little bit better than 3. It holds, it really reinforces the bangle strength and keeps it to one spot easier. So now I have my loops forming between the 2 bangles and my crystal in the center. And I'm going to grab another crystal.
Okay, so just to make sure that I've got what you're saying is when I put my first crystal in there, I'm going to wrap 4 times around the other side, basically the second piece that I just picked up.
Yes. And as you get going, you'll find that you're like going over and under pattern, like a figure 8 in between the 2 wire pieces. So if I'm on the top, I'm going over the top. I have a crystal in the center and I'm going to go underneath the bottom And it's also, you kind of want to hold them with your thumb together while you're working. So that way you have the same distance all the way around your bangle. So the wire and everything stays nice and tight around your crystal in the center.
Okay.
So I'm holding it with my left hand steady as much as you can because it wants to escape. And I'm going over the top bangle with my crystal, and I'm going underneath and through the bottom bangle. And you want to bring your wire up nice and tight over the top and then form 4 loops. I'm sorry if this doesn't make sense. So we're going 4 times over the bottom. And sometimes the loops want to kind of spread apart. I just grab my chain nose pliers and pinch them back together. So you have a real nice tight coil.
Gotcha.
And pick up another crystal. And this project takes probably half an hour at least. Oh, and I just dumped them out all over my table.
Okay, so it's Andrea, if somebody is going to use a stone, like I'm using a 6 millimeter lantern shape Botswana agate is what I'm going to use.
Oh, that
So
sounds nice.
if I'm using something a little bit larger, should I make possibly like 5 or 6 wraps in between to kind of give it some more room for the stone?
Oh, no, I think 3 to 4 is fine because the larger stone it will be held securely. And that's actually a really good idea using that kind of a stone. That sounds really nice. No, I would just stick with 3 to 4. It will be held nicely on there. And then it will also be, I think it looks really nice when you have that many loops.
Okay, perfect.
And so now I'm going from the bottom back to the top. And since I've come over the top bangle, now I'm going underneath the top. So as you go around, you'll be going like a figure 8, depending on which direction you're coming from, over the top and underneath each copper bangle piece as you're wire wrapping. And as you pull it through, you want to slide it down towards the other previous loop and pull nice and tight. So that way your loops are nice and formed and together like a sandwich.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Good
Pick up
job.
another. That's the other thing, is if you're doing a larger stone, this is a little bit faster. When you use the smaller ones, it's a little bit longer.
Says you. Uh-huh. Says you. You'll be able to wrap that whole thing in little baby's little 2 millimeter fire polish or something. I'd still be sitting here wrapping 6 millimeters.
Uh,
Well, this is awesome. I love it.
I love it as you're going around and you start to see it form the shape and everything. And you're like, oh, like the pattern starts to come out. It's really nice.
That is very, very cool. Now, Andrea, so if somebody had like a ring clamp or like one of those wooden ring clamps or something like that, could they use that as well to kind of hold those bottom 2 loops? Would that make it easy, do you think?
I would probably help. I don't have one of those to try. That's actually a good suggestion.
That way.
Possibly. I like using my hand because if I need to move it around, I can move it around a little bit easier as I'm pulling on the wire and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's a good idea.
Gotcha. All right, let's see what you got so far. Look at that. See, you're going to town on that thing. Love
It's
it.
starting long.
Okay, so as they keep going around, Andrea, and they get to the other side, they
Hmm.
got all their beadwork on, they're happy with it. What do they do once they get to that point?
Okay, so when you're ready to close it off, I'll just actually do that right now. I'll cut this one shorter and do a demonstration.
Okay.
Yeah, otherwise we might be here for a couple hours working on this.
I know I
Uh,
will be.
I would be too.
That's
Okay.
okay. Because by the time this video comes out, I will have an amazing bracelet.
Oh, it'll be beautiful. Okay, so let's say this is my end and this is my last crystal. Um, you just want to wire wrap it, 3 to 4 times towards the end of your loop and cut off your excess wire and pinch it close. And then you're finished. And then if you did want to patina it, as it's a preference. I use liver of sulfur and it gives this really nice antiqued look. And then I polish it afterwards and I use Renaissance wax to seal it so it doesn't continue to darken. And if you wanted to do it in a raw copper, it will tarnish over time. So you could also use Renaissance wax and just kind of polish over the copper and it will help it stay the raw, shiny copper look.
Look how pretty that is. Okay, so just because I'm a newbie with this patining, so you're saying that if you put that in liver of sulfur and you don't
Mhm.
wax it, it will continue to get darker?
Yeah, both of the copper will antique over time and will
Right.
darken. And so if you want to preserve it as long as possible with either color, it's a good idea to use museum wax or Renaissance wax. And it smells really bad, but it works great. You just take a polish with a little bit of the wax and it coats over it and it seals it really nicely.
And it doesn't damage your beads at all?
No, it's made for jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah, now my bottle's really worn out, but I got mine from Rio Grande Jewelry Supplies. And it's made to work for like fine jewelry and metalworking.
Okay. All right. Well, that is really, really good to know. Because I know for me, I like to do a lot of silver and a lot of like shiny gold or champagne colors, but that is really, really good to know on that. I love, 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 love that. So, Andrea, if I start to work in and my piece starts getting a little wonky, all I have to do is just put it back onto the mandrel, correct?
Yes, because as you go around, it's going to lose its shape. And even when you're using it, yeah, you just grab this baby and you just reform it around the mandrel again, and it will give you that nice circle bangle look.
Okay. I love it. All right. Well, I'm going to show you so far what I have. So you can say, yes, Kelly, that's looking great, or no, Kelly, you need help with that. So this is what I've got so far. I'm kind of liking it with the Botswana agate and the silver there.
Oh,
So
that's beautiful. I love it. That looks fantastic.
yeah, I've done a little bit more wire wraps than yours just because of the fact that I used that little bit of a bigger bead, but I think I'm
I
gonna.
love your on the end. Your loops are perfect. Oh, that looks so beautiful.
Well, now, Andrea, if someone was a little extra like I am, we could also dangle things down from these little
Yep.
loops, correct? If
I
we
was
wanted to.
thinking you could add arms on the end. Yep, definitely.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Just look how beautiful those are. Oh, I love it. All right. We're going to give Andrea, I'm going to pin myself so that way Andrea will have a minute to switch her camera back around. So, guys, if you make one of these, make sure to post it on like the Off the Beaded Path page. Send a picture to Andrea on any of her socials so that she can see these as well. Because we want to see all these beautiful bangles that I know that you guys are going to make and enjoy making. And Andrea was talking about that 16 gauge wire that we do carry at offthebeadedpathbeadstore.com. I've got the 16 gauge wire there, as well as I also carry the Wire Elements 16 gauge wire, as well as that 22 and 24 wire. So if you need any wire, I've got that for you there. And Andrea, quick question. What is a good place, or where is if you don't mind, where are some of your favorite places that you might like to look at gemstones and things like that that you like to get?
Oh gosh. Okay, so I love lima beads. I love cherry beads. I get some things at Hobby Lobby. I get some things at a store that's a local store called Craft Warehouse, and a few things at Michael's. Like most people, trying to find the local store, see what they have in stock.
I love it. I love it. Okay. Well, guys, again, if you make one of these, make sure to post it. Show Andrea some love. Go follow her on all of her socials and on YouTube. And yes, yes, because you will not be sorry. All right. Andrea, thank you
Yes,
so much. I greatly appreciate you hanging out with me for a while and to show us how to make this awesome bangle.
anytime is a lot of fun. Thanks for having me. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to send me a message. I'm more than happy to help them with any questions they might have. And if they're on Instagram and make their own, feel free to tag me in it. I'll share in my stories. And thanks so much for having me, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. And everybody, just FYI, if you look right below us here in the right below the video in the video description box, you'll also see all of Andrea's contact information as well as links to all of her socials. So that way they're clickable links. You can click and go straight to it. So you'll be set and good to go. So guys, thanks again so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.